Okay, this video is gonna show you the answer key of a fraction multiplication problem. So first one is I'm gonna show you repeated addition strategy. And next one we're gonna talk about the area model strategy here. That's I'm gonna show you. So earlier you saw the video how to use repeated addition to solve the problem using fraction strip. So it was easy, right? So if they have a fraction strip, they can create another whole. That's going to be their answer. So let's talk about the first one. 5 times 1/2. That means 5 groups of 1/2, right? So I'm gonna have 1/2 here. How many groups do I need 1/2? I need 5 groups of 1/2. So I'm gonna keep adding 1/2 and 1/2. How many times? 5 times. So here, this is 5 groups of 1/2 as we state here. And then I know that 1/2 and 1/2 makes 1 whole, right? The same area here, 1 whole. So I have 1 whole. And another 1/2 plus 1/2 is going to make another whole. So I create 2 wholes. So I have 1 whole, 1/2 and 1/2 is another whole. So I have 2 wholes. So my answer is going to be 5 halves, or 2 and 1/2 is going to be my answer. So 5 times 1/2 is 5 halves, or 2 and 1/2. Okay, good. What about next one? It's 3 groups of 3/4, right? So next one is talking about 3 groups of 3/4. So here's my fourth in here. And 3/4, I'm going to have 3/4, so I'm going to have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, right? And 1/4. I need 3 groups of this, 2/4, 3/4. I have 2 groups of 3/4, and I have another group of 3/4, right? So I'm going to have another group of 3/4. Right, so I have 1 group of 3/4, 2 group of 3/4, 3 groups of 3/4. Now I need to find out the answer here. So I know that if this is 1/4, how many 1/4 do I need to make my 1 whole? Yes, 4/4. So I'm gonna have 4/4 gonna make 1 whole, right? Here's 4/4. I'm gonna create 1 whole. So I'm gonna get rid of this. And do you think I can make another whole? Yes, I can make another whole, because I need 4/4 to make 1 whole. So I'm going to have 4/4 in here. It's going to be used the same in size and same in length. So I know that they're equivalent to 1 whole. So my answer is 1 whole, 2 whole, and 1/4. It's going to be my answer. So in here, that's repeated addition. So I have 3 times. So I'm going to add 3/4, 3 times. It's going to be 9 or 4. And this is, what we need to do is 9 divided by 4 and 2, something like that is what we did. But with the fraction strip, kids can find out this here. So I have 9/4. But I have 4/4 makes another one. So it's going to be 4/4 plus 4/4. That is my 2 plus 1/4 is going to be 2 and 1/4. 2 whole and 1/4 is the correct answer. Okay, good. Let's talk about the area model. So you probably saw the video how to do area model of fractions. So this is the practice problem. We're gonna talk about it. So remember the area model. We need to know is that base times height. So one goes to left, right, one line. The other line goes top to bottom. That's the key idea of area model. That's what we need to know. Okay. So let's do some problem here. I'm gonna show you the area model. How to solve the area model problem. There are problems in here, and the word problem, and also there is a larger number. This is a challenging one, so that's fine if you're not sure how to do it. But I want to show you area model works for all fractional number. That's the important part. So let's do this one. 2/3 times 3/5. So remember the area model. What do we do first? We draw a box, right? We draw a box. I'm gonna do 2/3 times 3/5. In a draw box, it's always better to use different color. One section goes to your base, one section goes into thirds, the other goes into fifth. So which one doesn't matter, but whatever you feel comfortable you can do. So I want to do this here. So my base is 2/3. This is my base, 2/3, right? So I have 2/3. I have 2/3. This is my new base. And this times 1 is what? It's 2/3, but my height has changed too. So I'm going to have my height is 3/5. So I'm going to, my height going into fifth. So this is 5 and this is fifth. So 3/5. So I'm going to color it in 3. So this is 3/5 is my new height. So what is my area? My new base is 2/3, and my new height is 3/5. So the double shaded part is going to be the answer. That's what we've been talking about, right? So this is double shaded part. Okay, so what is my common denominator? And what is my denominator here? How many equal boxes do you have in your box, in your one? That is your denominator all the time. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 15 is my denominator. And how many of them are shaded, double shaded? It's 6. So you can leave with 6/15, or you can simplify fraction by 2/5. It doesn't matter. So one is base, the other one is height, and then double shaded. You color the base first, and you color the height, and then double shaded part is going to be your answer. This is how we're supposed to find. Good. Let's do the next one. Next one is 5/6 times 3/4. So it doesn't matter which one is going to be base or height. So I'm gonna have 6. I'm gonna have 5/6 in here. So I'm gonna color it in 5/6. So far so good. 5/6 that represents my new base. What about my height? My height is changed to 3/4 too. This is my height, h. So I'm gonna do into fourth. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, but only have 3 of them. So I'm gonna go So this is my height. And my answer is, because my new area now is 3/4 times 5/6. So my new area is wrapping part, double shaded part here. And my denominator is how many equal boxes do you have in your class. And this is how you can find out the denominator, common denominator too. 4, 6, and 12, you can do that, but you can also have 24 too. So my box, my denominator is 24. I have 24 equal box. And then how many of them are double shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 15 is going to be your answer. Or you can simplify this, divide by 3, or you can do that. So whenever you're working on the fraction problem, what do? We just multiply across, right? Just 5 times 3 over 6 times 4 is going to 15, 24. This is the formula, right? This is the formula. And this is why it works. This is why it shows how we can have this one visually. So this is the area model fraction here. Let's do the problem here. Your page 28. The problem here. Newspapers cover pages 3/8 text and photographs fill the rest. If 1/5 of the text is an article about endangered species, what fraction of the cover page is the article about endangered species? So imagine in your head, this is the problem here. This is the newspaper. This is newspaper 1 by 1 page. What does it say? It says 3/8 text and 3/8 are text. 3/8 are text, so I'm going to cut this into eighth. Okay, eighth, and then 3/8. So these are the text. My height. This is my text. And what else? The rest here is the pictures. It says 3/8 text and the photographs. Fill the rest, right? And then this is the text, but among this text, 2/5 of the text is an article about endangered species. So this is the area in here. But among these, only 2/5 of them are talking about endangered species. So you can go 2/5. I'm gonna into fifth. 1, 2. Okay, so this is 2/5. Do you see how it goes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 2/5. This is my 2/5. So this is my 2/5, right? 1/5, 2/5, 3, 4, 5/5, and this is my eighth. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5, 6, 7/8. And the double shaded part is here. What is my common denominator? Is 5 times 8, which is 40. And what is my numerator here? So 2/5 times 3/8 is 40/6. So I have 40 as my denominator, and 6 of them is double shaded part. So my answer is over 3/20 if we want to simplify. Does it make sense? So this area model is straightforward. One is your air base, the other one is your height, and this is your new area. That's all we need to care, double shaded part. But now, I want to talk about the challenging one. So if we have it bigger than 1, what's going to happen? So strategy book tells you, but that's okay. If we are not sure this one, that's fine. 1 1/2 times 1/3. This is our problem here. So I want to draw 1 1/2 is going to be my base. So I have 1 whole and this 2 whole, but I'm going to have only half. This is 1 1/2, which is my base. So I'm going to color my base. Do you see what I have here? 1 1/2 is my base. So far so good? Okay? So if my area is this, my height is 1, what's gonna my number? 1 1/2 times 1 is 1 1/2, right? But now I only have 1/3. My height is only 1/3. So I'm gonna have 1/3 in here. So I have a question for you. Important conceptual question. So I can color in my 1/3. Should I stop here or should I keep going? What do you think? So think about that. 1 1/2 times 1/3. So if we don't go and stop here, I only multiply 1 times 1/3. I didn't multiply 1/2. Do you see what I'm talking about? So I have to go all the way to here because my new area is now base is 1 1/2. My height is 1/3. So this is my overlapping double shaded part. So, but this one, when you look at this box and this box, they are not the same in size. So I'm going to draw a line here to show them they're all the same in size here. So my question is, what is your denominator? Your denominator is 12 or 6. What is your denominator? 6 or 12 or 9? What do you think? Do you remember talking about the denominator? Depending on the whole, denominator is number of equal pieces in your whole. So what is your whole? This is your 1 whole. This is your second whole, right? So when the fraction, the whole is 1. That's your reference. So this is your 1 whole because I have a 1 whole and half whole is my first number here. So if this is 1 whole, how many equal box do I have? So my denominator is 6. And how many of them are double shaded? 1, 2, 3. So my answer is 6. 3/6. Or you can think about this. You can have 2 6 from the first box. 2 6 from first whole. Plus this one, the second whole, 1 6 is going to be 3 6. It's the same. Does it make sense? So we have to think about that. This is your 1 whole. This is your another whole. And think about it. This is your 1 and half of your whole. And this is 1/3. But we have to keep across going because our base is 1 and 1/2. Let me draw this the other way. So I want you to think about this. So I'm going to draw a separate whole. So this is 1. Right? 1 times 1 is 1 if you find the area. And this is half. So it is going to be, my base is 1 and half. 1 and half. And I want to figure it out. My height is 1/3. So I'm going to go this way. Like this. So this is my 1/3. My height. Should I go this one too? Yes, because this part of my base is 1 and half. So I have to include this one. So I have to go to there. So this is another 1/3. Right? So now, double shaded part is this and this. But I want to find out the same size box with the second hole. So I'm going to make this into 6. So both of them have 6 equal box for both fractions. Are we go so far? So my denominator is 3 and 6. Think about it, you're moving this into here, filling out the my hole, and then this is going to be 1, 2, 3. Or you can think about it, the distribute property. Distribute property, what is distribute property? 1 and 1/2 means 1 plus 1/2, right? And times 1/3. So what do? We multiply 1 and 1/3 plus 1/2 times 1/3. This is what we are doing. We multiply 1 times 1/3, 1 times 1/3, which is 1/3 from the first one. And this one is 1/2 times 1/3 and 1/6. So we can add 1/3 plus 1/6. So see, this is 1/3 plus 1/6. And we have to find the common denominator, and this is 36. So this is all formula. But this is why it works. Shows you the visually how it works. What does it mean in here? Okay? I hope it makes sense to you. So if you are not sure, please watch one more time, and hopefully it make you understand this, because using area model to find out the multiplication problem in fraction, it's one of the standards kids need to understand. So I hope you'll be able to teach this concept to your students. Okay?